kind of the key to getting Blake going?
I wish I had the answer to give you the exact key, but it was good that he got going. It was, we kept a similar routine as far as what days he kicked and that sort of stuff, and we just continued to try to work at it and, did a couple extra drills and film study sessions. And by some drills, we, going through, we call dry kicks where he actually didn't kick the ball. And so just really putting an emphasis on it and continuing to do that. So it was good to see it go through the uprights for him.
Did you uncover anything in the film study work with him that helped him out?
Yeah, I think that, there's, when he was walking the ball off when the ball was in certain areas, and we're just talking about like a couple inches that we thought that, we just needed to maybe be more consistent with, and how he kind of drew his line, and whether the ball was on the right or the left hash, like the angle that may change, and we're just talking a little bit. So I think it was productive for him, and, continuing to work at it. And so it's always good and positive reinforcement, like when you're really working your butt off at something and then you go see the results. So I was happy for him. I'm happy for us. We needed that, and hopefully we continue that going forward.
And where's the idea of kind of blacking out the video screen come in?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for you on that one.
What was anything like related to how they're kind of like legislating like the spots, like being more, I don't know, thinking about like how where they're spotting the ball at?
Yeah, I think a little bit, and I think a little bit of that, and that's kind of what we worked on, is like when the ball is always snapped from the line, where his footwork and where he walks it off and everything was the same. And now when it was kind of like halfway in between, there was no physical line for where he was putting his foot. So that was part of the things that we worked on, and the dry runs and stuff like that, of just making that part become consistent for us.
What's your evaluation of the punting game so far? It feels like Kai's been a little up and down, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a great evaluation of it. There's been some up and down, and it's like with any young players, we want more ups than downs. So like the first one in the game, he mishits it, and that obviously that wasn't a good punt or what we were trying to do there. We missed an opportunity to pin them inside the 10 and make them go the long way. But I thought he responded well with the next one and of where he was putting it, and gave us some good hang time. And that returner's a really good returner, so it was good that he had a good punt directionally, got some hang time, and our guys really had the ability, and they went and covered their butts off. So that was good to see.
When you have that first punt like that, is that as simple as it? I don't want to say anything simple, but is that as simple as where the foot makes contact, or where you make contact with the football, or is that about the direct, trying to push the direction?
Yeah, I think it could be a lot of things. It could be a bunch of different reasons on why it didn't. I think on his angle, he just took too sharp of an angle of where we're trying to put the ball, and that's why it went that way.
There's anecdotally at least, I feel like Soldier Field is kind of known for being a tough place for kickers, especially. Is there any sort of rankings in your own personal view of this? Is just tough places to kick the ball and turf and all that?
Yeah, I've never thought of it as far as just rankings. To me, it's more about the conditions than it is the stadium.
Yeah.
So it could be any stadium, depending on how windy it is, or is it raining, and what's the field surface like could play into it. So those sorts of things that you just have to work through, and that's the life of being a punter or a kicker in this league, is when you have to go play different places and you don't get to control what the weather's going to be like. And so we just have to take advantage of it, embrace the opportunity, and go perform in it. Fortunately, we have some grass fields here that we're able to do, and you're able to do some wet ball drills and stuff like that to prepare for weather if it is raining throughout the game. But we're looking forward to the challenge.
Maybe a dumb question: is there some uniformity to the two grass playing surfaces? I mean, grass down here is different than grass in the Midwest.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think it's a silly question. I think there's a lot of validity to that. And I think the different types of grass really affect not only the specialists, but I think it affects the player's shoe wear that they want to wear. Is it what type of screw-in cleats? Most of the time you really don't want to wear moldeds on grass, and then depending on what the surface is like, how big are the screw-in cleats? Because as we tell the guys, even in all the meetings, in all positions, it's not okay to slip. So we have to make sure that we get out there early, we test our footwork and make sure that that's good. And if it isn't good enough, then we need to go with a longer screw-in cleat. But slipping or falling, it's not acceptable. It's not an excuse. We can't have that.
Do you have a way in a less windy environment to prepare for a windy environment?
I'm going to say no, you don't. But depending on how windy it is, you guys have been out there. Like sometimes that wind can get going pretty good the further back it is. So it's been great for us to go outside every opportunity that we can to go and kick in that. But for those real big windy days, I don't really think there's a way to simulate it realistically.